What's up, everybody? So a little while back I posted a video saying that I was gonna kind of redo a charger that I built, the very first car I'd ever built. And you can go back and watch a couple of the videos. I guess I'll drop them in the description so you can see the charger and kind of all the mess ups and screw ups on it. And I just got sick of looking at it on the shelf looking that way, so decided to do something a little different with it. So I went ahead and tore it down and did broke out a whole bunch of excess parts from other builds and stuff like that to do kind of like a Mad Max-esque end of the world type Armageddon build. So went ahead and did that, completed it, and it actually turned out pretty well. So I'm going to show you the final product here, and I'll throw some pictures in so you can see what the car looked like beforehand. But here it is. So used a lot of different techniques on this, and some of the things I just kind of had to come up with because there didn't seem to be any kind of instruction out there. At least I've never seen anybody do it, like these bullet holes that are running up and down the body, stuff like that. So I'm just going to run through how I did that and see how she turned out. So as you can see from the front, remove the hood, and then I dropped in this massive supercharged Dodge motor that was actually from a Ford truck build. And it turned out really well. If you look close, you'll see all the bolts are painted brass or gold, and then there's a lot of oil and rust and weathering on the engine itself, just to give it that nice used look. And then I added a bunch of extra parts. Like these braces are actually from the Ford Model A builds. I didn't use them, so I thought maybe this car could use a little extra bracing up front if it's ramming something or something like that. Same with these wheels. A lot of this actually came from a failed attempt to build a Model A hot rod. I lost a bunch of parts from this build, so I figured why not scrap that thing, tear it down, and use those parts on this one. So these red steel wheels, these slicks in the back came from it. Of course the front wheels did as well. And then I just painted the whole car flat black, did a lot of rust, a lot of scraping as if maybe the car's been on its roof a time or two. The bullet holes. So firstly, all I did was kind of drill a little pilot hole, but not getting all the way through the body. So I did it with this little guy here. And then once I got the depth I kind of wanted, all I did was take a regular old thumbtack and just heated it up until it would melt through the plastic, and just pushed it right through the center of the hole. So you've got an indentation where the bullet went through, and then of course the hole where it made it through. And then from there I just added some rust and stuff like that running down out of the holes as if maybe they happened quite a while ago. Heated up the body just to do some body damage, so you've got dents and scrapes and all that stuff through. Kind of had to rig the rear suspension because I wanted a nasty rake on it, like you can see here. So all I did was heat up the leaf springs and bend them into the position I wanted for the correct ride height. I didn't have any truck suspension or anything like that. These taillights actually came from the hot rod build as well, so you can actually see that they extend outward a little bit. So these were Cadillac taillights, and all I did was take the factory 68 taillights and drill through the center until these would fit through, and then just glue them in place. The spare tires and all that were just stuff that I had laying around. The fuel tank is also from the Ford Model A hot rod. And then I just moved the battery to the back and some extra components, you know, God knows what they do, but they're just back there to kind of dress it up a little bit. And then this steel plate is from the Model A hot rod. It does have a CB radio antenna and a CB radio inside. And there's probably not a good chance I'm going to be able to show you the inside, but I'll do my best here. So it does have a couple of extra fuel tanks on the inside. And then you can kind of maybe catch the CB radio there mounted on the dash. And then I also took some fabric I just had laying around to dress the seats up, and I used the hot rod steering wheel. It does have a full roll cage, and to make that, all I did was take the tree. In fact, I think it was the tree from the Model A hot rod. Just heated it up, bent it into shape, drilled some holes until I had a full roll cage going, I took out the back seats and put a shelf back there that's got a bunch of random junk on it. And then for the flames in the front, so I wanted it to look nice and weathered, so all I did was paint it with red acrylic and then wipe it off before it had a chance to dry completely, so it gives that nice streaked, worn look. And then just outlined it with some silver. For the bumpers, to get this rusted look, I just took some Testors, I think it was burnt umber or something like that, and again just wiped it before it could completely dry, just so it gave that nice kind of de-chromed, you know, surface rust look to it. More parts of the tree, just to put these bars across the front windshield. I took all the glass out of it, of course removed the side view mirrors and all of that stuff, and it turned out really, really well. So I like how it turned out. It looks much better on the shelf than it did before, where it was just, I mean, pretty poorly done model. But now it looks good. I'm happy with it. Came out pretty good. I've got a couple more builds coming up that I'm going to do. So one of them, I wanted to build a Challenger. So I'm going to do the Rebel Challenger, the 1970. So I'm gonna do that one. I know it's like extreme close up here, but whatever. But I want to do this one in plum crazy purple, and then I've also got I think a Ford truck that I want to put together. But yeah, I just want to do a quick video and show you this finished build on this guy, and I have no doubt that I'm going to do more of these in the future because I really like how this turned out. In fact, that Richard Petty ramp truck that you see, I had moved and it got damaged. And some parts fell off of it and got lost. So I think what I'm going to do is build a launch truck for this car. So it would carry this car on the back, and then this would get launched off to go and do whatever, and maybe mount some weapons on it, stuff like that. So look out for that in the future. But other than that, appreciate y'all's time, and we'll see you next time.